Meeting call to order, please rise to flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brian, or Jason, congratulations. Again. Good to see you 4 more years, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Roll call members, please.
Councilmember Rochester.
Aye.
Councilmember Bory.
Aye.
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Supervisor Tremblay.
Aye. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna ask for is a motion to leave the regular business, to adjourn the regular business, or recess, and open the public hearing. Local law number 5 to override tax levy. I didn't look at that.
I'll make a motion to leave the public hearing closed, or recess the public meeting and go to the public hearing to discuss local law number 5 to override the tax levy.
I'll second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carries. There's nobody here from the public in regards to that. Does anyone here at the board have any comments or questions? I'm looking for that, I thought Local 5 was
Supervisor, would you like to,
no, it was 4.
would you like to bring it to the public's attention on why we're passing the override, even though we don't expect to use it? It's just a precautionary.
Yes, so for everyone listening and watching, this, the reason for filing this local law, which is a local law to override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3-C. The reason for this is it's very difficult to stay under that 2% cap, and we have. Our budget is under that cap. There are other factors that in the next month or so, in regards to revenue from the water, for an example, in regards to for the payment of the loan for the project, can affect that cap. And because we're so close, we don't feel comfortable not having this in place. As it happened last year, at the last minute, it just barely squeaked over. I think it was like a 0.5%, I can't remember exactly. So it's safe to do this because those factors are not in our control. They're not a hard budget item. It depends on how much revenue comes in, which gets accounted and calculated as part of that cap. So therefore, let me read the preamble to those who are watching this. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Champlain as follows. Section 1, legislative intent. It is the intent of this local law to override the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Champlain pursuant to General Municipal Law subsection 3-C, and to allow the town of Champlain to adopt a budget for the fiscal year 2024 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by General Municipal Law subsection 3-C. This local law is adopted pursuant to subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law subsection 3-C, which expressly authorizes the town board to override the tax cap by adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the town board. So if nobody here has any comments on that, we will, we're doing that under, we're going to need to prove it now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I also wanna say that they changed the parameter of what was considered debt and what wasn't in the last couple of years.
that's exactly what we're talking about,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's
what's
what I mean,
making it
it's-
difficult.
Yeah, they're making, the state, it makes it a rolling target. You do it one way one year, and then the next year the state says you do it a different way. So what you had planned on doing it, to keep it well below the tax cap, is changed because the state changed the parameters of what they consider debt. And that could happen again, so.
True, well said, thank you.
And this is also a standard, a standard resolution that we pass we pass a local law every year, based on, just in case. It's
Just because of the unknowns.
Yes.
I mean, 2% is not a lot in regards to the size of the budget of the town of Champlain. You know, it's a small amount.
I'll make a motion to approve local law number 5 to override the tax levy.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Let's take a roll call on that, please.
Councilmember Rochester,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye, thank you, motion carries. I guess with that, we could leave the public hearing and go back to regular business.
Make a motion to exit the public hearing, and go back to the regular meeting.
I'll second
All-
that.
Okay, thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're gonna need to do that again and go into the public hearing for the preliminary budget. I'll make the motion to leave the regular meeting, or recess from the regular meeting to open the public hearing on preliminary budget for 2024. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we have nobody here to go over that. So I'll ask the board if there's any questions or comments regarding it. I think we've all been through the budget workshops, reviewed the budget thoroughly. It's certainly we're ready to approve it, but that, I believe we have that in new business, so we'll just, yeah. I don't know if there's anything more I can say to the public for it. Got it right here. My work copy might be the latest. Would you want to just speak on what the total is and how much we're under the tax cap, or?
Actually, Julie has it underneath her file.
Right there. Ah, perfect. I didn't have that last copy. Okay, so, tax cap this year was 1.405, $462, so 1.4 million. And the difference that we're under is by $22,018.36. So I think we're safe. But again, because of that formula, using what I consider revenue to calculate this, it's very close.
Oh.
So this has been posted, and will be available if anybody wants to see it. So,
Can't talk right now because
Right.
I'm in a town council meeting.
go back to the regular business, and public hearing, if nobody's here.
I'll make a motion to exit the public hearing regarding the budget and go back to the regular meeting.
Thank you, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now we're ready for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Has anybody got any questions or corrections?
I went through it and I think it seems like it was thorough, so I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from October 10th, 2023, as submitted by the clerk.
I'll second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain because I wasn't here at that meeting, so.
Okay, any opposed? Motion carries, minutes are approved. So presentations of petitions, communications, and general question period. We have had members of the community here. There has been questions asked, so I am going to verbally answer those questions that were left over from the last meeting. Okay, so the question was, in regards to the Miramar property that had been abandoned. On October 10th, I had stated that I was going to contact the property owner. If the property in question is owned by someone and not abandoned or forfeited to the town, why did the town waste time and money applying for grants to demolish the structure? Answer, there were no tax dollars spent. With the consent of the property owner, the town and the owner applies for the grant together. Contracts were drawn and entered to reimburse all expenses of the town by the owners of the property. If the grant were awarded, it would then be the owner's responsibility to pay for the demolition. Once the state sends the monies to the town then transfers the money to the owner. It's just a pass-through. There were absolutely no tax dollars spent. On October 10th, the question was regarding the grants I applied for in respect to the sewer district. Apparently, I was told it was in my report for the month. So, that was my misunderstanding, is the answer. I thought you were referring to Miramar only, because we were just discussing that. No, we are not to that point in the process. We have applied to EFC Clean Water Supply Revolving Fund, CWSRF, Intended Use Plan, IUP, and we recently received news that it meets the requirements and is eligible to receive $5.685 million. Not official, but that looks good. So that's a big chunk of this. So if that does go through, I'm trying to remember, I think the rest is following the award of this grant, which is the largest, we would then decide if we should apply for USDA and WQIP, which would fill a gap of about $2 million. So that was very promising news to be notified of that. With respects to reports from the code enforcement officer and the dog control officer, why aren't these reports being read aloud prior to us approving them? I won't read the rest of the comments. The answers are, these reports are not official public documents. These reports are informational to the board to keep us appraised on their workload. We do not approve these reports. We just discuss if there's any questions in them. Again, they are not official public documents. These are just employees reporting to the board. Regarding agendas for the zoning and planning boards, why aren't the agendas for these meetings being posted on the website? That question also applies to the minutes of these meetings as well as the minutes of special meetings. Answer, the zoning, planning, and special meetings are and always have been posted on the website. Why is the town paying for 2 lawyers? Tom Renee inserts himself in all ZBA meetings, and on October 10th, clearly written on the agenda is Matt Favreau, another lawyer. This is, again, is a waste of taxpayer dollars. My answer, each legal counsel has their area of expertise. One for town, one for zoning and planning. Each are paid hourly only, no retainers. This is a common practice by towns throughout New York State and does not cost any additional tax dollars. I look forward to complete and appropriate responses to my questions at November 14th meeting. There they are. I hope that helps. I hope it clears it up for everybody. I think those are all decent questions. I gave them concise answers. Report from the supervisor. Good evening. Congratulations to all newly elected officials from this year's elections, especially Councilmember Jason Borey and newly elected Councilmember Dorothea Southwick. Congratulations to the NCCS boys, the Saranac girls, Shazy boys and Shazy girls soccer teams for advancing to regional competition this season. Congratulations to the Shazy boys soccer team for winning the state championship. What a great year for all of our Section 7 soccer teams and an exceptional achievement for all of our athletes and their coaches. Great job, athletes. We're all proud of you. Our first annual Town of Champlain and NCCS 5K Fun Run Walk was held on October 29th. It was fairly well attended, and even though it was chilly, all whom participated thoroughly enjoyed the course on the Harry McManus Northern Tier Rec Trail. The children's fun run was great, with all contestants finishing their 3/4 of a mile run on the NCCS cross-country course. And they were all happy to receive their medals. There were 19 attendees at the Safe Drivers course held here at the town offices on Saturday, November 4th. The next scheduled course is January 27th at the Rouse's Point Civic Center. Please watch our website and Facebook page for complete details as we get closer. Congratulations to the Village of Rouse's Point on the launch of their new website. It looks great and has many convenient features for the residents. Nice job. The dry hydrant on Point of Fair has been repaired and is in service again. Thank you to the town highway crew and the Champlain Fire District for their hard work. I recently attended an informational meeting with NYSEG. It was a meeting with all the town representatives within their district. The leadership team at NYSEG has been doing a great job keeping us informed and involved with their initiatives. They are working to become more involved in the community and are easily reached when we need assistance. I also recently met with the Vice President of Economic Development at the Chamber of Commerce. The purpose of this quarterly meeting is to discuss our economic plans and our marketing strategies here in the town of Champlain. They are working to get our website linked in the Montreal, New York site and the Adirondack Coast site. So we'll follow up on that soon. Recently met with CDC Real Estate and the president of Jittle Pearls, Mr. Mamain. This was to inform the mayor of Champlain and myself of the plans to build a facility within the Champlain Industrial Park. This will be warehousing and distribution center for their business located in Montreal. It is expected to be in construction phase sometime next year, and it will provide about 12 to 15 jobs when it's completed. I attended the Clinton County Fire Services battery fire training class last night. This was 2 hours of extremely interesting and valuable information. The main takeaways I can provide are these highly efficient lithium-ion batteries that are used in devices such as cell phones, laptop computers, portable drills, to e-bikes and electric vehicles are extremely dangerous if not handled properly. Always follow the manufacturer's directions for charging and never replace the batteries with aftermarket batteries. Those are 2 of the main reasons for battery failure resulting in fires. And there are many others, from damage to leaving them in the sun and getting overheated, etc. But it's very difficult to put these out. And The good news is, they have monitored, the toxins. And indoors, it's very dangerous. Outdoors, they said between 5 and 10 feet, there are 0 readings, because it's emitted to the atmosphere so fast. There's a lot more. We would have to sit down and have a discussion and share my notes with you. It was a two-hour meeting, and it was a lot, never got bored. It was awesome. We held our walk audit with the Clinton County Health Department last week. We identified many areas that could benefit from this round of grant funding. A comprehensive list will be compiled by the Health Department for the board to review. We will also post this on our website once completed for feedback from the community to prioritize this year's focus. So we intend to do that. We are continuing to move forward with our marketing initiatives, and this will be reported by Councilmember Bory in his report. Report on projects. Ridge Road Water Booster Station upgrades. The upgrades to the equipment and plumbing are complete, and I'm gonna change this. I wrote this morning and found out they did come in the last couple of days, and the insulating is complete as well. So the only thing left is a check valve, a pressure relief valve has to be installed. They sent me an email this afternoon in regards to that, and they're working on getting the sensiphone wired. There's some sort of configuration they've got to correct. They're confident it's gonna work, but we don't have our alarms yet. So those two things have to be completed. Revision to our comprehensive plan. Additional contract documents have been completed recently and submitted to ESD. As soon as we receive the signed approved contracts from ESD and AES, we will begin scheduling our workshops. And I'll fix that, Julie, before I send it to you, okay? Miramar Properties, the 19 acres with the mall, we're currently waiting for Round 8 Restore New York funding to open, then start the application process. The 22 acres submitted for housing, the Clinton County IDA is currently planning on a county-wide feasibility study to include this property. I have not been updated on that. Bob Venn Fitness Center project. The scope of this project consists of an outdoor fitness center, a double pickleball court, and a basketball court. We have completed rounds of funding applications for DASNY grant funding to fund the majority of this project. Several organizations have donated this year and have pledged for 2024. Since we do not have these funds all at hand, we will complete the applications through the National Fitness Center and MVP for fall of 2024 completion. Public announcements. There's a blood drive at the Champlain EMS station on November 20th at 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Please consider giving the gift of life, as there is always a need, and especially at this time of year, as there is always shortages in supplies. If anyone needs assistance scheduling for RSV or COVID vaccines, you may contact us at the Town of Champlain office. We will assist you with the online process. The Champlain Fire Department will hold its Parade of Lights in the Village of Champlain on November 25th at 6 p.m. The Village of Champlain will hold their tree lighting ceremony December 9th at 4:30 p.m. in the Larry Paquette Park. There are many other children's events planned throughout the day. Please visit the Village's website and Facebook page for those details. The Rouse's Point Fire Department will hold its Parade of Lights in the Village of Rouse's Point on December 16th at 7 p.m. Registration is currently open for our youth basketball program, and it will be open until November 20th. Please visit our website and Facebook page, or come into the office if you need registration forms. And please note, I am in my office every weekday from 9:45 a.m. until 1 p.m. Please feel free to stop in, and I will be happy to discuss the town's projects and objectives with you. My door is always open, but it may be best to call first, as there are many appointments and meetings that fill my schedule. And a thank you to all of our veterans, especially since Veterans Day just passed, and our active military men and women for your service. And thank you to all of our first responders, both paid and volunteer, of our EMS and fire departments, and our police departments for your dedication to your community. Thank you very much. Report from the council members. Councilmember Moore, start on your side this time.
We were busy. I attended several workshops with many other council members to work on the budget, where it is that we can pass it tonight. Help staff the town office so most employees could attend a funeral of someone who they all knew. Met with the EDU committee, twice I believe it was, to discuss further EDUs in the town that we may want to do, and Rick's got more, I'm sure. And also attended the Zoom meeting with the town supervisor concerning the town fitness center. So, just working on that too.
Yeah, that reminds me, we haven't seen an email from David, have we?
No, and they didn't set up a follow-up meeting like they always did, you know.
I'll try to remember tomorrow, but shoot him an email.
All done.
Thank you, Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Hunter.
Let's see, the CP holiday train is scheduled for November 25th. The train will arrive around 9 p.m. I would be there by 8:45. It will run till about 9:30. Also keep in mind that we recommend, or if you can afford, please bring donations. Those donations will go to the St. Patrick's Food Shelf. Also, the Rouse's Point Fire Department will be holding their children's Christmas party on December 9th from 12 to 3. Also, Rouse's Point will have their annual parade of toys on December 1st at 6 p.m. And I also want to remind people that the Rouse's Point winter parking ban will go into effect also on December 1st, 2023. Also in the town of Rouse's Point, the Civic Center, the ice is down. Public skating as well as stick and puck schedules are out. Just recently today, the schedule was announced. I believe the next date is the 19th of the month, and that will start right after school, and it will actually, I think it's on a Saturday. It'll run concurrently, public skating first, and then stick and puck on the 19th. Check the Village of Rouse's Point's new website for any upcoming dates and times regarding public skating and stick and puck. Also, Small Business Saturday is scheduled for November 25th. Please come out and support all of your local businesses. Let's see, what else do I have here? John, you already highlighted on some of the items with the blood drive, the parade of lights for Champlain, the parade of lights for the Rouse's Point. No, it's perfectly fine. I also want to point out that the Champlain Fire Department sent me an email indicating that there were two things that came to mind that they wanted announced. One, they've successfully completed the repairs to the dry hydrant, as Supervisor Tremblay has noted, out at Point of Fair. They want to kind of give, gracious thanks to the teamwork provided not only by the people at the town, but also some other individuals that were able to give of their time and their skill set. They will continue to focus on the corrective actions from the report from Mark Davis from Got Big Water, generated for us based on his survey of the town a couple of months ago. Second, focus continues to be on the new fire station project in preparation to get this project out to bid. Currently awaiting final approval again from the rural development on final documents, including the building drawings. And the last piece that I have to report, as Councilmember Moore indicated, he and I met on the 8th of November, and there were a number of listings that were provided to us by the town assessor in regards to some additions. And so there are 3 new parcels that we have now added to this particular EDU listing. It will be an increase in EDUs of 1.10 EDUs. Those particular parcels are from a combination of reasons and rationale. One of them is a particular piece of property that was subdivided. There are two other properties that in fact were just recently picked up, actually after looking at the actual online database. So our EDUs now will move from 565.15 EDUs to 565.25 EDUs. So respectfully submitted.
Thank you. Thank you. In regards to the dry hydrants, I just received the quote for the one for the Stetson Road Bridge.
Okay.
For that pivotal drop hydrant, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $7,000, so I'm trying to get a meeting together with the fire department. Our plan was to split the cost of that. We, through emails, they have stressed that we need to move on it quickly, get it ordered.
Okay.
We would have to get it installed so that it would be billed in next year's budget. Of course, we budgeted for that in this '24 budget.
Okay.
So if you're able to attend those meetings, I haven't got it scheduled yet. I haven't heard back from them when they can squeeze that together.
Okay.
Yep. And then the Cardin Road Bridge, he could not give us a quote on that until that bridge is completed.
Okay. So that's a ways out.
He said it's gonna be that same ballpark. He would expect it to be about the same price,
Okay.
provided there's no extraordinary costs.
And both of those are budgeted for the '24 annual budget?
Yeah. Not, it'd be close. It'd be close. We budgeted enough for the hydrant
Mm-hmm.
and at least one of those dry hydrants.
Okay.
But to answer your question, yes, but I think it'd be close. So it may be helpful that the Cardin Road will probably not happen until the following year. It probably won't be completed until late fall.
Right.
You know, so it might be this time of year again before we're doing that one.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the weather have a lot to do with them being able to do the work outside? I mean, can you only do it up until a certain point?
No, in regards to the bridge,
Yeah.
the bridge hydrants,
Uh-huh.
he said as long as the weather's not horrible, he can install them, you know. It's, I don't think that, I don't think January or February would be a good idea, if you'd have too much ice at that point, more than likely.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, we usually do have a lot of ice
Yeah.
at that point.
Councilmember Rochester.
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Bory.
All right, I'll start with zoning board of appeals. So the ZBA met on the 19th of October, and there were two public hearings. And there, if I remember right, there wasn't really any comment from the public, but the appropriate parties with the applications were there, and questions were answered, and both of the applications were approved. And one of interest that I think is the craft distillery for the alcohol out on the Meridian Road for the old station for the cattle. What do they call it, the cattle?
And border crossing.
The border
There's
crossing.
also a border crossing, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be kind of interesting, where they're gonna have a unique liquor that is created right here in Champlain. So now we can tout that we have unique wine for the town of Champlain, and now we have unique liquor for the town of Champlain. So going right along with our bootlegging history here, anyway, so that was interesting. There is also no meeting that would be normally scheduled for this Thursday, as there is no business for the zoning board of appeals to discuss. So there is no meeting this month. Moving on to marketing, I did speak with Aaron Benner a couple of different times, and most recently, we've been playing phone tag back and forth. So getting some clear, clear vision for where they'd like to go next in our marketing campaign, highlighting really kind of what we'll do for the 2024 year. Some of that includes what they call brand identification and brand consistency. So making sure that we're having the town properly noticed in the way that we want with our new logo and our mission statement and vision and phrasing and website. And so that's consistent every place that you're supposed to kind of see it, at least in the digital realm, is kind of how he is saying that. And then part of that would also be to start incorporating our logo on things like maybe letterhead or our business cards, maybe even a visual here in the office, something like that. So that's kind of, again, that brand recognition. So if we're looking to update and use that logo, then moving forward with that. So there's more to come. There's always a conversation with them. Did talk with Paul, worked with Paul. The winter video is ready. So if the board wants to stick around at the end, we can view the winter video. That is ready for viewing. And any recommendations, if there's anything you think it's missing or could use, before we go to put it up on the website. But he has what we call a final draft for us to take a look at.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the commercial, so for what we have to offer for opportunities for business and development, that is in its final stage as well. We're finalizing the script in order to get ready for the voiceover recording and then be ready for the website as well. So I would say probably at the next meeting, I'll be able to report that that's ready for viewing.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So many of you mentioned, so the last piece for marketing, many of you mentioned lots of events that are going on, and I think one that speaks to the high level of events that we have going on here in the township, both the villages and the town, and how we can offer these for people's search help by having them online on our website, our calendar of events, which Sarah does an excellent job keeping current. So our plea is always, if you have an event, something that should be available for others to find out about, like we've got parades of lights and blood drives and all these great community events. If we don't know about it, we can't help you let others know about it. So make sure that you're letting us know. We can use our social media for that, our website, and I would say Sarah would probably be clear that we'll have all of this on our calendar of events, right? All of the different holiday events and stuff, sure. So, anyway, so that's a plea to the community. Let us know about what's going on so we can make sure that that's part of our help of marketing the town. Hometown Heroes, the supervisor mentioned that we had a Veterans Day celebration, and I was very proud to say we live in a very military family and military honor forward community. There were a number of events that took place not only here in the town and in the villages, but all over Clinton County. It was very impressive. Businesses that were opening their doors to veterans and military for either free meals or heavily discounted meals, offering discounts at places of business, and the ceremonies, and of course a shout out to our Post 912, Montgomery Post 912 in Rouse's Point, and the VFW in Champlain at the Twin Bridges, just the work that they continue to do, the events they're hosting, really, really impressive. So Hometown Heroes is all connected with this, and the banners will be coming down as it is now. The season is closed out, but our application is still open. So please check us out at townofchamplain.com. Information about the application can be found there, or if you'd like to call Sarah here at the town office, she'll be more than happy to help you with the application. So applications are currently open for our 2024 Hometown Hero banners. And again, I got to shout out to Sarah for all the work that she does with Hometown Heroes here. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
Another shout out for the holiday season. If you are a family in need, there are organizations and agencies that can help you with helping provide a meal on the table for the holidays, or gifts under the tree, or the menorah, or however you celebrate. Please make sure that you are reaching out to these community organizations. JCEO is one of several. I know Holiday Magic is up and running right now. The Angel Fund dinner was a huge success, selling out dinners, raising money to help exactly this cause. So please, if you have any questions about how you can get access to holiday meals, gifts, anything, boots, gloves, hats, coats, all the stuff that's needed for the long winter months, please don't hesitate to call the town office here so we can guide you in the right direction. That also goes for HEAP, the Heating Energy Assistance Program. The application is open for families and households that meet a income threshold. There's varying levels based on the number of people in the household, but there is assistance for the coming winter months. Please make sure that if you have any questions about that, you contact us here and we'll make sure that you get the information that you need for those things. And one more time about the holidays, it's important that we are giving Thanksgiving, you know, the whole year round, but especially this time of year, we think a lot of it when we're thinking about our families, community members and friends. And if you can give, please give. That's always important. And if you need, please reach out and we'll help you with need. So.
Along with that, Jason, let me add that the St. Patrick's Church in Rouse's Point has their food shelf open each Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10:30. So if you're in need, please do not hesitate to stop by.
That's right. And one final shout out, and then so ends the report. It is winter, so we're on the winter kick, and snow, ice, cold, and the highway department will be doing its due diligence out on the roads all hours of the day. Yes, and night. So please remember to let them do their job. And they do their job well, but they can do their job even better when the traffic is agreeable with them. So not tailgating, giving them a...
Don't crowd the plow.
Don't crowd the plow, that's a good way. And remember, they are out there to make sure that you can get to where you need to go when the conditions are not great. So please take caution as the winter months and winter driving needs are kicking in. So, ends the report.
Thank you. I got one question on
Sure.
regards to BVG.
Yes.
Were you able to reach them to at least request a detailed quote?
I left it in a voicemail, but I have not actually spoken with him about that. So I can follow up with that if you'd like.
Yeah, and shoot an email. Sometimes that gets
Fair enough.
gets good attention.
Sure.
Sometimes we'll listen, pushes it through.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you. And thank you very much for all you guys do. Appreciate it. Report from the town clerk.
You have my monthly report for approval.
I make a motion that we approve the town clerk's monthly report for October 1st through October 31st. The total local shares remitted were in the amounts of $4,416.02.
Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Julie. Review of the post audit bills. AKA abstract. Any questions on those at all? Okay, if not, I need to need to review the monthly bills, and we will need, get them approved. And you should be copied with the additionals. We have a total of $5,630.21 additional. The original bill list was $135,149.68. The total is $140,779.89. I do want to point out that there's a $60-some-odd thousand truck payment in there. It's that quite higher, just so you're aware.
They don't get those trucks away, do they? Jeez.
No, they don't. No, they don't. That's why it's so difficult to keep.
But on average, we actually keep our trucks, I think, we talked about this before, on average about 7 years,
I thought it was 10.
7 to 8 years.
Yeah, 7 to 8.
7 to 8.
So, I mean, when you look at a $62,000 truck,
Yeah,
please be
15.
aware that it puts a lot of miles.
I think it's closer to 10. It's still at 15.
17, 16 and
Yeah.
Whatever it
17.
is, they're coming at the right time
Yeah.
before they get
Right.
Too expensive.
Correct.
Oh, that makes sense.
I thought the last one we talked about that was replaced was in 2015, so.
The next one is a 16,
Correct.
which we have to order next year for
For the following
2025.
year.
Right,
Yeah.
so. It's like school buses,
Yeah, true.
So we'll get a 25, they'll be 9 years old.
20 miles. So I'll make the motion that we approve the bills for November. Again, the total amount of $140,779.89.
Thank you. Have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? We do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Rochester,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trumbull.
Aye. Okay. You have your report from the code officer? And I think there was an addendum for it as well, right?
There was.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Any questions on it? In regards to a long list of its duties? As you can see, he commented that the new booster pumps are working much better. I should go down there now that it's insulated, I'll get some photos for you guys. No, if there's no further questions on that. Then we have the dog control officer report. Isn't too bad. No questions? No. Jody? Yes. I don't have anything direct from the highway superintendent, but I'm sure he would agree with Jason's comments. And I want to reiterate a big thank you as we get started in this busy season of taking care of the roads. They've already had one little outing for sanding, but that was just a
That's
practice
just the
run.
beginning.
That's just the beginning.
In theater, we call that a dress rehearsal.
They had their dress rehearsal. Correspondence, you have the zoning board minutes, and minutes from the planning board meeting, charter communication. I'd like to stop on this one here, the Peak Road Cemetery. because I think it's valid of a little bit of discussion. I have conferred with our attorney on should we have something in writing, some sort of a contract with these people that we do not dig in that cemetery, since they've been allowed to put this here, and it is set up where they won't have to.
Just the headstone?
And further than that, do we want anything in writing, would we consider allowing this type of headstone only? And if so, we'd have to set up some sort of contract that would really ensure that. He needed to know where you wanted to go with that, where the board felt they wanted to go. He didn't disagree with either angle or both, but I think he was more hesitant on allowing any more at all. But he didn't really strongly say don't do it. He wanted to know what your views were, then he would look deeper into it. Like if we told him, can we set up something to allow headstones for cremations only, compartments as this one is, he would dig in further to find out if we can legally do that and safely do that.
I think you have to actually, I think, dive a little bit deeper here, no pun intended.
How deep,
To kind of gather information in terms of, without having any drawings of the cemetery. I think you're
Well,
kind
I
of
know,
exposing yourself.
Well, that's why we decided last year that we would not allow anyone in there, and I've already, turned one family away, and now I'm sure if they see that headstone, I'm surprised they haven't called,
I think we ought to check with the state and see exactly, what grounds we have for being able to do anything with it at all, without having a map of the cemetery and where everybody's lots are, and
Yeah. My guess is allowing any more headstones.
we're opening ourselves up, I think, if we do.
Yeah, I think, so if we all agree that we don't want you to go down that path,
Correct.
then we just go with plan A possibly, should we draw something up to protect us on this one?
But I'd also like to kind of gather information in terms of, moving forward. I mean, those are, descendants of people that, possibly still are
Yeah.
living. I think it's important that we kind of provide some information for them when they kind of come to us, wanting to know who's actually within inside of some of these cemeteries. If we don't actually have,
Well, we can't access those records.
so
They don't exist.
nobody has any records from the cemetery moving backwards.
No, from the research that
They
I
might.
did last year, I
Well,
couldn't come up
did
with
you
that.
get the two volume print from Father Lewis's father did a two volume book of all the cemeteries in
Okay.
Clinton County and every single gravestone. And where they were.
Really?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an amazing book.
So I didn't know that last year, because we didn't go there at all.
Well, I've seen it, so I actually have the book, one of the two, that has my family in it, and, in this part of the county. Yeah, it's a very extensive, and it gives.
That would only give us possibly names of who was buried there, it wouldn't give us any idea of where.
Where, correct?
Well, it gave sections in most of them.
Oh, it did?
Yes, because they went, somebody who, I don't know how he did it, I can't remember now, but he had like sections, like, say, St. Patrick's Cemetery, he might have it in eight or 12 sections, and he would put that, where that grave was in that section, and and then you'd have the burials there. He took every inscription off of every headstone that was there.
Including these small cemeteries as well.
Yes.
And where do we access that?
I can check with Father Lewis, he might have some, I think that's where I got it last time. But
Is that on record with the county?
That's what I'm
it
wondering.
very well might be, that might be another option. But it's a fascinating book, it's an amazing book, and it tells you where all these little cemeteries are located and everything.
Yeah,
I mean, I can look into it, it's certainly not hard to find
Well,
out.
please do, but I know when I checked with the state last year, I was instructed, if you do not have a defined map of burials in those plots, and a board to run the cemetery, don't get into that business. That's why we, made the decision, no, we're not gonna allow anybody in. This was done prior.
This was done prior.
Yes, this was,
Yeah, according to the email.
Yeah,
this was done prior. I called her to find out,
Yeah,
how
I
did
do
this take place?
remember, they did come to the town board and we didn't have a problem with it because it was one burial, or one headstone, and they had ties to the cemetery. It's, you know, I can see it, there are people that have lived here all the, generation, and,
The only thing we don't know, and actually, luckily this is above ground, so it's not
Yeah.
gonna really disturb anything, but they could be sitting on top of a plot.
And that's what I worry about.
well, if there's no inscription, it's a moot point. I mean, I used to take care of cemeteries, and, there's a lot of, you'll see blank spaces where there
Yeah,
are
but there's,
tombstones.
but there's
and-
like 25 tombstones on the riverbank, so they came from that cemetery somewhere.
Correct.
But,
Which in our plan to try to, do some cleaning up of these cemeteries, that's why we budgeted some
Yeah.
funds. But, these people that put that headstone both volunteered to help with that process. To pull those
Yeah.
headstones back up from the riverbank and maybe just build something to line them up so they're at least in the cemetery.
that's what they do in a lot of older cemeteries, when they start digging up tombstones, whether flat in the ground and if they're buried or thrown over a riverbank and stuff. It's just impossible to find out exactly where those stones came from.
Right.
So they basically,
Line
like
them
you
up.
said, they
So-
line them up. I mean, I can show you several cemeteries where it's like that. I mean,
Mhm.
they're all.
So the town has never had a board for that cemetery?
Not that I could find.
No, we would not,
Because there's a difference between a graveyard and a cemetery, and that's why I'm asking.
in theory, the only reason we're involved with these cemeteries is they're considered abandoned.
Right, and once they're considered abandoned, the state says the town has to keep them up and own them.
Yes.
Not operate them, upkeep them and own them.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing.
And pay taxes on it?
No, I don't
No.
think anybody.
No, I
does
don't
that.
think you pay taxes on it, but it's,
Tell me what the difference is, because I did not know there was a difference between them.
yeah, if you look online, you'll see they define graveyards as, not associated with a particular religious.
Affiliation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. I have my own pet cemetery.
Oh, we're not talking pets, we're talking human beings, so.
So we don't discuss this all night, if you could,
Yeah,
get-
I'll
we'll start with that information. I guess, do you feel we need to do anything at all with what's been put there? Do we need any type of a agreement with them to make sure that they,
You've got all those other tombstones there that there's no agreement and
True.
there's no, you start picking one, choosing one person.
Right, and I think you're opening yourself up.
Yeah, it's just, because
Well-
who's going to enforce it, you know, I mean, it's, some of the cemeteries I'm involved with now, they have rules where you can't leave artificial flowers or
Correct.
flags up all winter.
Yeah, things
or
have to be off certain dates.
put Christmas lights up around and things like that, and it really comes down to enforcement, and it really becomes a problem. Are you going to go to someone whose spouse died last year and they want to put a cross that lights up from the sun, you know what I mean? And it makes it difficult to mow around the gravestone, but that might not be something you really wanna
Get into.
get into.
no, so
So it's,
basically, if you all agree with me, I don't think we should get into the business of allowing anybody else in there.
well, I think we should leave that open, I wanna find out more about that. I mean, I really think if somebody has, their family is historically in that cemetery, I don't think it's a bad thing to follow through on their ancestors. I mean,
What do you mean by follow through in there?
well, if my father and my grandfather and 3 of my siblings were buried there,
Yeah,
uh,
but we can't allow them to be buried there, so.
well, no, but if I
Trying to
was,
make, trying
well,
to make that clear for everybody.
yeah,
Yes.
cremation has changed you know,
The
from
whole
50 years
industry.
ago, it
But
was
we're not
sand.
even digging to bury the urn here, we're putting.
No,
we're
no,
putting
but I
in a
mean,
headstone that
it's,
has compartments.
the last funeral I went to, they put a headstone up and scattered the ashes.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So there, you know, things have changed so much. You know, the wake is sometimes at the church before the mass, or the
yes.
reception might be, you know, adjacent to the church. You know what I mean? People aren't using funeral homes as much, and they're very simple. They just, you know, a stone marker is what they want, because it's expensive to go through a funeral home being bombing and everything else, so they just want a memory, something to remind the world that that person was there, and the ashes are somewhere else, even though you could put them in stone, but I don't really wanna shut the door on, because it's not something you get a lot of requests about, you know,
It's very
really,
personal.
yeah, it's
It is
really.
very personal.
And these older cemeteries, a lot of the people aren't,
But I think it's safe to say we can't allow burials.
No,
No, we all agree with
No,
that.
we agree.
But we're saying, don't shut the door in terms of being able to find out, if we can find out information about that particular cemetery, and possibly, you know, the idea of a map and lots and things, so.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And a
it's,
special kind of headstone that would have a containment system, or like you said, an option to scatter.
yeah, it's changed so much. I mean, it really has, that, I
Well,
think it,
you find that information out, and I'm gonna try to find out what kind of liabilities we would have, since we don't have actual
well,
maps.
we've got
of
all
the
the
burials.
liability in the world, it's our, we maintain the cemetery. You know? It's hard, it's,
You're between a rock and a
The- the-
tombstone.
there's more, but I won't wanna get into it because there's, gray areas that probably are best not discussed at this point.
Mhm.
But, it's, you've got the liability, let me put it that way, you have the
No
liability.
matter what.
No matter what,
As the town owns it.
yeah.
Yep.
I was
It's yours
I was
now.
referring to someone digging for a burial.
Yeah, right, and that's
Being
what,
in another
well, we
plot.
should
That's
make a
all I was
policy
referring
about
to.
that, yeah, but,
Cause from what I was told,
That's not allowed.
that we shouldn't be doing that.
yeah, we'll talk about it
You don't need any action on this?
No, I don't, I
Yeah.
just, it was in the correspondence just for that discussion, I'm sorry that
Yeah.
it took that long. Okay, we have GSA Northeast and Caribbean Region Wetland Mitigation Project. You guys have any questions on this as we go through?
Do you have any projects in the town we could use some of that $4.5 million to mitigate any problems we have?
Yeah, I know, right, but I don't remember if this showed the conditions or not, but I read the conditions on it.
That's a lot, it was
Slim.
16 acres.
This doesn't have condition.
16 acres, I think, or something.
Mhm.
6 acres.
6 acres.
Yep.
$4.5 million for 6 acres.
I think a lot of it has to do with the actual watershed. And I think you're kind of, a lot of agencies are kind of controlling this.
Mhm. Well,
A lot of
it's
agencies.
just informational, this is what's,
Yeah, I
Correct,
know it is.
correct.
It's just-
But they're looking, you can at least let the public know that they're looking at May of 2024 as a point of,
true,
Newport construction, so.
yeah, it began June 2022,
Correct.
yeah, and, the wetland mitigation and construction of new land port are both scheduled to begin May 2024.
Yep.
That shouldn't count. Anyways. Provided you with the email for our appointment for zoning board member. Karen Plum. For later. Okay, new business. Nice segue.
Are we approving that for Karen. So,
I have a motion to approve the appointment of Karen Tillman as an alternate member of the planning board.
I can't speak of her, I don't know who she is, but she seems to, express interest through her email of interest. So I would make the motion that we approve Karen Tillman as an alternate member of the planning board for the town of Champlain.
And I'd like to second that.
Awesome, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Email address or anything, let me know. I also have a phone number for her to get you started.
Did we do the EMS?
We had no, that was not mentioned. I didn't see it here on the thing.
The EMS report for a month?
No, I did
It was
not
in our notes,
we did
but it
not
was
have this
not.
in here.
Yeah.
And I don't have a copy of it, I don't think.
Well, all I can tell you is
I
that
think I just printed it
in
out myself.
October, there were 112 total calls,
Mhm.
108 of them, plus 4 mutual aid calls. So that's all I can provide to you, and I think the response time is like 1.78.
Yeah, I saw it, but I don't have a copy of it here. Sorry.
It's off the-
And we didn't have it in the correspondence either.
Not in this pack, but what was sent to us, it had it. No, Sarah sent it separate,
Right,
if I recall.
I know, that's where I saw it, I thought I printed it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah, I swear I printed a copy, but.
I can't
Yeah, so
believe
total
how
calls
many
was a
volunteers
108.
Well,
112 with 4 mutual.
Yeah.
the trouble is that you don't have enough, you never have enough anymore. It's-
Well,
Mm-hmm.
but still, they know what they're doing, it's a job, a
Yes.
full-time job, and to
So
take all
far.
the courses that you need to take, and I'm just so in awe of people.
We're very very fortunate. There's always a need, so people want to step up. And that was something that we learned at the 150th anniversary of the Village of Champlain. Their fire department is the oldest volunteer fire department in Clinton County.
That's right. Okay. New business number 2 is resolution 35 to amend local law number 4 of 2023, flood damage prevention. To amend local law number 4 of 2023, entitled Flood Damage Prevention as authorized by the New York State Constitution, Article 9, Section 2, and Environmental Conservation Law, Article 36. Whereas local law number 4 of 2023 was adopted October 10th, 2023, to promote public health, safety, and general welfare, and to minimize public and private losses due to flood conditions in specific areas. And whereas local law number 4 of 2023 repealed and replaced local law number 4 of 2007, recorded and registered in Chapter 80, Flood Damage Prevention, Town of Champlain Code. And whereas the Town of Champlain was notified by New York Department of Conservation, New York DEC, on October 11th, 2023, that there was an additional update to the flood insurance rate maps, the firms, establishing base flood elevations, BFEs, for the Town of Champlain by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. And whereas the New York DEC on November 7th, 2023 notified the town there was an additional revision required to clarify that the Town of Champlain Code Enforcement Officer is appointed as local administrator for the Town of Champlain. And whereas due to these updates, it is necessary for the Town of Champlain to amend local law of number 4 of 2023 to include the following revisions provided by FEMA and New York DEC. Section 3.0, General Provisions, subsection 3.2, basis for establishing the areas of special flood hazard. Number 1, flood insurance rate map panels. 36019C0282D was revised to 36019C0282E. 360190C0120D revised to 360190C0120E, and 360190C0139D revised to 360190C0139E. Also, section 4.0, administration, subsection 4.1, designation of the local administrator. Added, code enforcement officer to the designation as follows. The Town of Champlain Code Enforcement Officer is hereby appointed local administrator to administer and implement this local law by granting or denying floodplain development permits in accordance with its provisions. And therefore, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Champlain does hereby amend local law number 4 of 2023. And therefore, be it further resolved that the amended local law number 4 will be submitted to Clinton County Planning Board, New York State DEC, and FEMA for review, along with the New York State Department of State filing forms, and a copy of the New York State Department of State's local law filing acknowledgement letter will be forwarded when it is received. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 35 to amend local law number 4 of 2023, as so read by the supervisor.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any further discussion on it, I should say? Any opposed? Motion's granted. So Julie, please follow up with me tomorrow, make sure we send all that stuff out again, just like we did last month. And hopefully I will receive a email this week. Thank you. We need to do a transfer of funds. This is from the ARPA funds, the COVID money. Need to transfer $27,272.31 from that account. Do we have the account number? I didn't realize it wasn't on here.
Yep. It is coming from account A 20, I think it's 202. Hold on a moment. And it's going to the water fund,
Going to the water fund, correct?
because that's repair for Ridge Road.
Correct.
And this is in addition to the amount on the bill, in the amount of $20,493.15 in addition to that.
I believe so, because we did get it, we don't have the final invoice yet. So we need it, we'll ask Sarah that detail when she gets back. Is this paid an invoice?
That's the question I have.
COVID fund is A 207.
Okay, so.
And what water account is it? Is it just the SS?
SW 7200.
Thank you.
Okay. Question was asked, is $27,272, is that addition to what was just in?
The $20,493.15 that's in the bills?
I think it's part of that.
That's what I wondered.
Because it's for the tanks and then the engineering.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right, it was for AES.
So it's for the tanks and the engineering, so it's for this and,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve transfer?
I make a motion that we approve this transfer from the COVID money from the account A207 to the SW 7200 account in the amount of $27,272.31.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you. Any further discussion?
We got these others.
far as that one, that one's,
Especially separate, right?
that one's separate,
Yes.
so that's why I was handling it separate. There's no further discussion on this one. All in favor of the transfer?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now, these transfers are from A 1120-400, court clerk contractual, 2,000, to A 1110.4, municipal court contractual, 2,000. As you know, this is just to balance these accounts for the end of the year. From 8010.400 zoning, 2638.99. That'll go to both B 1420.400 law contractual, 1,000, and B 4790-400 hometown hero, 1638.99. And then from DA 5142.100 snow removal personnel, $5,100 to DA 5142.400 snow removal salt, $5,100. And from DB 9040.800 workers comp, $5,950. Transfer to DB 9730-700 bond anticipation note, same amount, $5,950. From SW 8310.412 water training, $113.29, to SW 7 8310.415 water loan, 12 cents.
No, 12, from, there's two.
It's
There's
two
two
different ones.
froms, yeah, two different froms, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
That one is $12 to SW 7 8310.408 water utility, $125.29. Motion to approve transfers as presented.
Make a motion that we approve these additional transfers.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now we need to approve the preliminary budget. So we'll be approving the 2024 budget. We've all had time to work on these, we've all worked on it together. I want to say thank you, Sarah, for all of your hard work. It takes months to put this together.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Big.
a big task. It's somewhat a group effort, but Sarah sits at that desk and works hard at this day after day. So thank you. And thank you to the board for all the workshops that we attended and all the input that we put in. We appreciate it. So with that, we have a motion to approve the budget as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the budget as presented at tonight's meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion on it?
The only thing I would say is, right along with what you said, in gratitude, you know, any family out there, or, you know, you can be a single person as well, budgeting in a household is a tricky task. And when you're trying to put together the right numbers and trying to keep the tax levy and keeping under the cap, there's a lot of moving parts. And it's gratifying work, but it's surely not easy, you know, and there's a lot that keeps this township moving, and that has to be properly funded, or it doesn't quite work.
You know, and a lot of people in the public, Jason, wouldn't realize that you just can't take funds from one account and move them to another.
Correct.
You know, you have certain restrictions in regards to, you know, what that money can be spent on, so it is a very tough task.
Yeah, you can only move money within the account, within the line items within the account. So you're right, a lot of people don't realize that. And it makes it a much harder task. And the formula that keeps changing for the tax cap makes it difficult as well. But I think we'd all be proud to say that we've managed to keep it under and still, I think, provide the provisions in our budget to do the things we need to do. I mean, there's more that can be done, but we'll take baby steps. maybe next year we can do a little more.
And as a lot of people out there will recognize, as Councilmember Bory has indicated, you know, budgeting is a process where, you know, if you don't have it, you can't spend it. And so it's something that a lot of time and effort goes into trying to plan, for example, what those initiatives are for the next coming year, but also keeping in mind that we want to kind of, you know, hold back sometimes from making purchases when in fact we don't have that money to make those purchases. So
Yes, fiscal responsibility.
that's exactly right.
Mhm. So true. Okay, any further discussion? If not, can I do a roll call on this one, please?
Councilmember Rochester,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye, thank you all very much. Now, approval of Yellow 19 LLC decommissioning bond. This has been back and forth through me and the attorney. I have provided it to you for any comments. Matt has approved it. As you know, there's not a bond number, it's not issued here, so I'll be, if we approve this tonight, I'll be requesting one with a number before I sign it.
The bond, it says it's only good for 1 year, actually less than 1 year.
Yeah, it renews. That was one of the questions I posed to Matt, and I was instructed to contact and get more information, and they replied back on how that works, which is very similar to the one we currently have on file. I think it was for Robinson facility. And Matt was fine with the answer and he approved it. So this renews every year.
But we'll get notification like 30 days before it's due to expire that they're gonna renew it. I mean,
Automatically renews is what I was told. I should have printed that email out for you. I thought I had
Because I
thought had
didn't see
forwarded
it
to you.
there, is it automatically renewing anymore?
It doesn't indicate that.
Yeah. Because when I saw that 1 year date, I kinda wanted to make sure that we were covered somehow, and I didn't see it.
Well, I did too, and that's why I posed the question to
Yeah,
to
but I
Matt.
mean, it wasn't what we got, because it doesn't say it in what we got.
Let me find it. Yeah.
Where is this located, this Yellow 19 LLC? Where is this,
You see me across from contractor, right?
is it the one on Route 11?
No, so when are they gonna be building it?
That's what I thought, it's a new one.
It's a new one that's going across from,
They have the same,
Estes.
Across from where?
Is it the wrong address?
no,
They've got Route 9. Or no, that's for the town. They don't have an address here for the Yellow 19 LLC, that's why I'm asking. Does anybody recall?
It's supposed to be for the one that's going in. Because that's part of that process. The other one, we should already have on file.
Correct.
That
it's
was-
the same name.
It's the same name.
Is it
Oh,
Cipriani?
that's what I'm confused with.
Yeah, it's under the same name. That's why it's,
Is Cipriani the one?
So Rick, is your question the fact that it doesn't actually list what this is?
it
connected
is,
to?
but it goes under Yellow 19 LLC.
It doesn't
And
go on.
this is not the one on Route 11. The one on Route 11 is Tritech Americas is the actual owner of the, so that's why I'm asking.
It's the map.
No, when I was reading this, it kind of made me look at the EDU listings and I can't find it. I gotta dive a little deeper into that. I know Chris would know, but today was not the day to contact him. He's not ours today.
Oh, yes, with the sharing business.
We're in that cooperative. So that's why I asked you. Okay.
So the bond, so when they issued the bond is for the project, the company that's running the project,
It's the insurance against the wreck.
not the particular location, but
Correct.
that, okay.
I'll try to review the response. That was on a emergency response we're trying to get.
Yeah, because we're the obligee, we're not the surety,
So,
and the surety is the one
I
that.
found Matt's email that said simply, yes, the bond is approved by him. I'm trying to find the confirmation email from Michael Quinn, I'm not finding it.
Berkeley Insurance Company, I think it's a surety, and that's why I'm asking about the renewal.
In regards to the one across from Price Chopper, they no longer own it, so they are drawing up an emergency response plan for us.
Good, good, that's great. That should help answer some questions.
I'm not finding his explanation. I would have went to Matt too. So what would you like to do? Other than our attorney giving it a thumbs up.
I think we have to have something in this document
Yeah.
that actually explains.
That's why I'm trying so
That-
hard to find his explanation, yeah.
There's a lot of legalese in there, we keep throwing stuff back and forth, and it doesn't actually say anything about they will do this and they will pay for this. It's, the bond company shall look at it, and we shall, and then the surety company will look at it, and then we'll see what the bond says, and then we'll go back and forth 20 more times, and then we'll finally decide, but it does not say anything specific that I can see. I happen to be looking at the solar
In
one.
regards to the renewal you're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the actual surety, the Berkeley
Yeah.
Insurance Company actually indicating here that these extensions will occur for the length of the time that, you know,
It-
as long as that solar farm is in place.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to search, maybe I didn't move that into the folder. Well, if we have to table it, we will table it.
Well, I have this one from Cipriani Energy Group that was at one time, and they have it right black and white. For the purpose of financial assistance prior to commissioning the solar farm, Yellow 19 Limited Liability Corporation will obtain a decommissioning bond in the amount shown as total after 40 years in up to year 40 of the decommissioning
And
bond.
that's the way it should be.
And they've got the actual schedule.
Correct.
I mean, you know, it's one
I
way.
think we have that as well for this. This is the bond itself though. That is the plan, right?
This is the decommissioning plan.
Correct. We have that on this one.
The
We-
same one?
We've had that and we've approved it. We've approved the plan. This is the actual bond.
Then why don't they use the same language they have in the decommissioning bond,
I don't know,
decommissioning
but
plan? I
Julie and I
mean,
pulled up the ones that we do have on file, and I thought they were very similar. And all I questioned was the term beginning and ending. And then it says that it may be extended for additional terms of the option of the surety by continuation certificate executed by the surety, and they claim that's automatic. So I can ask for better wording there.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
something.
can also go pull that plan.
I would pull the other plan in.
You should have been
just-
provided that, 'cause we've approved that. We
Yeah.
approved that a month or two ago.
Yeah, but I think.
Is that the one you have, maybe?
It could be.
Yeah, I'm
It
thinking
could
that's the
be.
one you have.
August 31, 2023. That's the decommissioning plan. And then,
And it talks about the bond.
yeah, but then why, I'm always skittish about lawyers. Why do we have a second agreement that seems to say a lot substantially different things than what it says in here?
Well, that talks about the whole plan on how to decommission it and how the bond's gonna cover it.
This does, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
But
plan.
this is just saying
This
one
is-
bond for,
This is the bond, period.
one bond. It doesn't say anything about renewals or extensions or anything. But I mean, I read it through and it may say it in some universe that lawyers understand, but to a layman, it doesn't say it.
Okay, let me get back to them and Matt to try to draw up more specificity to this.
Do you need a motion to table it?
Yep. I do.
Is that your wish, Brian? You want us to-
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, it's already a month behind, or, you know what I mean? The bond was supposed to take effect October 12th of, this year, so it's already a month in arrears. I think another month to get, to be sure, because we're talking a lot of money. We're talking a lot of money, and really.
I gotta find that email.
And because this is approved now after the one that you were referencing
Yeah.
prior, does this take precedent? And so I just think I agree with you.
I mean-
Table it.
That would be safe.
Yep.
Yeah. Lawyers I don't.
Legal world, you don't know.
Well, disappointed, ours approved it. With that explanation. I just can't find the explanation.
But if you find that, send it to us,
I will.
please.
I will.
I'd like to see how we,
But I will forward the explanation back at them, tell them they need to draw that description in the bond.
Yeah, and if it's in their decommissioning plan, why couldn't it be part of the,
why not just reference it?
yeah, why didn't they reference it? I mean, because to me, you
You've
have.
already got that highlighted,
Uh,
or is it the bond?
No, that's the one, that
well,
says what we got.
it's right, it's on page 11,
Okay.
12, in here.
Yep.
Decommissioned bond
I'll do
calculator.
that as well.
So that number one does not say the same thing
No.
that does. I agree.
I'll make a motion to table the approval of the Yellow 19 LLC decommissioning bond upon further consultation and proper
Revisions.
revisions.
Sounds good.
Second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, and Judy, please move that over to old business for next month. And hopefully we can get it adjusted. Okay, old business, water code amendment. Jason and I met several times and think that we've got a draft ready to move forward. We've been provided that draft. You'll notice that every subsection that we feel needs to be revised or amended, the new words are all in red.
Right.
Anything in black exists currently in that subsection. So I would recommend you just pull up subsection 124-1 in our code in chapter 80. I think it's chapter 80. No, I'm not positive. In our code. And if you just type in 124-1, it's gonna bring this up, and you can compare it to what we're revising.
So if you go to the new website and go under code in searchable, the searchable one, if you just type in any of the numbers at the top, it'll automatically populate right there for you, so you just can click it, and then you can go ahead and just reference. There's a possibility there is not a word or a slight phrase that is not highlighted in red. That is possible, or I've highlighted, it's possible that I tried to go through this, but there's possibility there is a word that is red that's already actually in the code, so it would not actually be a change. But this is a pretty rough,
Yeah, so if you find that, please let us know so we
Yes.
can revise it exactly.
but if you see red here, and I've tried,
And it's worded right, that's all that matters.
yes, and I've tried to make notes here about if it's being amended or not. And if it's red, it is the proposed change, whether it's an addition or a change in the language, or, again, in comparison. So like, for example, in the first one under definitions, that doesn't exist at all, that particular line. So everything red there would be something we're suggesting added to the code, under definitions. And then under general regs, you can see where the proposed changes are. And then so on and so forth as you go through each, and these are, I believe I put them in numerical order, so they are from the beginning of the code all the way to the end of the code, or the spot, or the last place we were looking to make those possible changes. So if it's red, that's the recommended change.
So it's not added on top of, it's a recommended change.
In some cases it is added on top of.
Yes, and you'll see that where there is, for example, under the amended, under permits, there is no language in there about the application, so we're adding that in as something, if that makes sense. And again, this was a combination of recommendations that came from,
Our previous meetings, for one.
that's correct, from the code enforcement officer, from an EDU meeting that we had, and I believe even the justice, Triller, even Justice Triller made
Yes.
a
Yeah, this is
comment
the penal
about.
code.
That's
It was
correct,
original
so
law.
there had been a change there. So this is quite a long list of recommendations based on, I think, a lot of different perspectives.
So you're looking to have this approved in December?
If we could, it'd be nice. That could be one heck of a resolution.
So do you want information in terms of our questions sent to you in between?
Yes,
So-
if you could, please.
And any discrepancies you see, and then there's maybe something that's why there's a copy going to the code enforcement officers, so, Chris can take a look at this and see if everything that, his concepts are being addressed here.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're meeting with business, and hopefully next month we'll get into it. The credit card policy,
I received nothing, as you
I know.
indicated in your last meeting, people were supposed to send things to me. I
I,
received nothing.
my apologies, sir, I looked at it today.
Oh, you looked at it today?
It's been tough. Yes. And I'm supposed to have it right here in my folder. And I will provide it to you, and Sarah looked at it as well.
Do you need this for me?
Here it is.
Do I,
So-
I'll just copy.
Again, if we can try to, has anybody else had any comments to it, but Rick, what we've got is, like the card charge will not exceed $250 without approval. I think that should reference the limits allowed as per our procurement policy.
So give me what you've got for changes.
Yeah.
And then I'll look into it.
Yeah. And Sarah's got an arrow there, and she may need to explain what that is, I'm not sure.
The two of them kind of,
Say the same thing?
yes.
Okay, so, I guess what she's saying is C and D are equivalent,
A roundabout.
Okay, so I'll look it over.
and then those are my comments on front page.
Okay.
Can I tell you what we kinda do now? Alan and I both have cards, and any of the purchases made online is for whether we can save money or Alan has an emergency or something like that. He keeps his receipts. I give him his statement, he receives it, he pulls his receipts, he reconciles, he gives it to me, telling him what they are. So, he's reconciled it, then I look it over and kinda go from there.
You're getting it right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. And we're the only two with cards.
Correct. So that's one of my comments in there. I think we can be specific if you'd like and just list the two people we're going to appoint to hold those cards. That's up to you, or leave it.
But the problem is if somebody leaves, then you have somebody else that actually, so.
Well, not
That's
me.
why I left it
but by
open-ended in
title.
terms of having each individual having card in their name. So it's not like you're specifically citing Sarah or citing
You say
Alan or.
secretary.
Well,
Correct.
I was citing the
Position.
title for the position. In other words,
Okay.
secretary to the board, highway superintendent.
Okay.
I really see no reason for me or any other supervisor to have the card. I think that one card suffices in the office. If there's anything that needs to be ordered, that can't be ordered from any of our vendors and has to be done online, I mean, Sarah wants me to do it. And if I was to travel for any reason, I'm just gonna use my own credit card and just get reimbursements if that was the case for meals or whatever, but.
Does that also include anything to do with the justice? Or do they have their own separate,
No, if they go someplace, they, use their credit card and then get reimbursed with a voucher.
okay, all right. So you can't foresee a need that they would need access to a card?
No.
And see, I struggle to see why they do it that way. So typically, if you're going away for, let's say, a conference or something, we used to fill out purchase requisition orders.
Yes.
So we knew exactly budgeting how much we were anticipating to spend.
Yeah.
You weren't waiting till you received a credit card statement where somebody's saying, I need to be reimbursed for this.
When Kevin goes away, we pay for the hotel room ahead of time with our tax exempt.
Right.
And,
Government rate
but
probably.
most of the time, they have rooms set aside for what he's doing, stuff like that. The only other one that really goes away for conferences would be
Chris?
like Chris.
Right.
Do you wish for any other solicitations on that, or?
He
Okay.
put it out in the last meeting, but I got nothing, so.
Yeah, I think I read it and I didn't respond, that was my problem, so. You want to give us a cutoff date?
I don't, I'm just bringing it to the December meeting. It
Yeah,
doesn't seem
try-
like it's
try-
anything that we're in a hurry to settle, so.
No, no.
All right, very,
So-
very good, very good.
Exactly.
Very good.
And then the next, whole business would be the revision of chapter 17. So, I need to work on that, I guess, to write that revision.
Now, what is that one?
Yeah, remind us
What is that? Because I'm not familiar with it.
That's the section, the subsection is 17-4. That was picked up as all of it's a list of
That's
the
right.
depositories and, the advertising, newspapers and radio stations and TV stations we're gonna use. So it just needs to be revised. I'm thinking of just to remove that verbiage. We could put that depositories are, listed and approved at every annual organizational meeting in January. That's where it's done. I gotta look at it. Maybe we just take it right out of the code completely and call it a day, I'm not sure. Or we reference how we do it. So I gotta take a look at that.
Well, it seems more straightforward,
having it in code really ties your hands, or annually, it can't be changed. You know,
Well, that's typically what we do at the January meeting though, is we identify with what
Yes,
those are.
that's
So
what I
why should they be changed?
No, but why should they be locked in code? Because then you can't change them. So if the, you know, for any reason, that depository doesn't exist anymore, or that, that advertising doesn't exist anymore, such as in our countryman, you don't want it in code. It's too hard, it's too costly to remove. So let me rough up the draft, bounce it by you, and bounce it by Matt.
Do you need any help with that, or?
Yeah, if you have time to take a look at it with me, that'd be fine. I'd appreciate it. I've still got a pile of paperwork to do for the DASNY application. I'm not done with that yet. We still haven't heard of approval on the comp plan contract for the grant. Once that hits, we're gonna start meeting. Okay? Any other business put before the board? Our next business meeting is scheduled for December 12th, 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I'll second.
Oh, you're- All right, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All
I'm at the town offices in the town of Champlain here on Route 9, and I had some plastic I was going to throw away, and yesterday I was here and talking to the supervisor, secretary, office manager, what many titles do you have, young lady?
Quite a few.
Quite a few. All right. And we were looking at this box right here, and it says recycle beyond the bag. And it shows a bunch of things that recycling. We all know about number 1 and number 2 plastics, but this is different kind of plastic. This plastic here I'm bringing in was around the bottles of water that we bought, and we got Sarah Gagnon reluctantly talking to us here on camera. Sarah, what's this all about?
Good morning. The town, we saw this, the Lions Club in Shazy started it, and then the Athletic Association, Shazy, does it also. So we thought it would be good for our for the Champlain community also. What it does is it takes plastics out of the landfill, and we recycle it. What happens is then if we reach our goal, which is 1,000 pounds, we get a bench. So what we want to do is take that bench and put it at Bob Venn Park. So with that, if you have any of these recyclings, the bags, the plastic bags that you get your vegetables on, the bread bags, the packages you get Amazon in, the bubble wrap, anything like that can be recycled in here.
All right.
You can drop this off at our office anywhere from like 8:30 to 3:30.
Okay, so don't drop it overnight because
Yep.
they don't want to deal with litter.
Yep.
So bubble wrap, I brought this. So you could squash it. I want you to
Yep.
pop. How much to pop those? She doesn't know how to pop them. Give me those there. I'll pop them while we speak here.
8:30 to
step
3:30. You can drop them off here.
There we go.
Or-
8:30 to 3:30.
Yep. Or you can take them to Northern Tier Housing, and they have a bin there also.
Okay.
So like this year will be us, next year will be them, so we keep flopping back and forth. So the benches stay within the community. So if you have any plastic, bring it on down and we'll be glad to take it from you.
And obviously, the plastic benches are made with this kind of plastic.
Yes,
All right,
definitely,
so-
yep. And like I said, the biggest things that we see are the wrapping around the stuff that you get at Sam's. Your paper towels, your toilet paper, your water, stuff like that. like I said, bring it down, put it in the bin, and we'll take it from you.
All right, so, bread wrappers, empty the crumbs out, obviously. You want this stuff as clean as you
Yep.
can, it's so,
You don't have to take the names off of the Amazon packages. What it does is they kind of burn it and, smush it so they can put it into the material.
all right, so another way to recycle, reuse, and, I know none of our Clinton County plastics end up in the ocean or something, because it's all the stuff that isn't recycled gets buried at Schuyler Falls, but if we can have less stuff to bury, why not reuse it and get a new bench out of it? And as Sarah said, once this bench is done, the Northern Tier
Exactly.
Senior Center will get a bench, and then it'll be back to Champlain Town's
Yep.
turn, huh?
So we'll leave the box here, so even if it's not our turn, you can still drop it off.
And then
we're
you'll
going
bring it.
to yes.
And you'll bring
So
it
we're
to-
going to work together so we both can get our benches and stuff like that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Let's all recycle.